Okay, we are working from the Advanced 2 textbook. We are reviewing Chapter 11, Inequalities. Okay. Remember when you were in kindergarten and there were hungry alligators, hungry alligators, and they like to munch the largest number. They like to eat the largest number. Remember that? Well, those hungry alligators have names. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Then in 6th grade, we started graphing these inequalities. And we learned if it was less than or greater than, it's an open circle. Because that open circle shows that this is where the solution set starts, but it does not include this number. Less than or equal to and greater than or equal to were closed circles. Because closed circles show this is where the solution set starts, and it does include this number. That equal to means includes. Okay. Okay, let's jump in. 7 times x plus 2 is less than negative 77. Okay, the first thing I'm seeing, the dreaded distributive property, but it's not that bad. So here's our first step, 7 times x. Well, 7 times x is 7x. Now we have 7 times 2. Well, 7 times 2 is positive 14. And everything else comes down. Now, I need to isolate my variable. I need to isolate my variable. So I need to isolate my variable, which means I need to get rid of this positive 14. To get rid of positive 14, I need to undo it or use inverse operations. So I'm going to subtract 14. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I'm left with 7x. These guys cancel. Is less than. I have a negative and a negative, so I'm going to add them together. Remember, negative ninjas like to join forces with negative ninjas. We're going to add them together. So this is 91, and they continue to be negative ninjas. They keep their sign. Okay, I still need to isolate my variable, which means I need to get rid of or undo this times 7. To undo times 7, I need to use inverse operations, so I'm going to divide by 7. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So these guys cancel, and I'm left with x is less than, I have a negative and a positive, so that's negative. 7 goes into 91 13 times. So x is less than negative 13. So we build our number line, and we put our target in the middle, negative 13. We go 2 ticks to the right and 2 ticks to the left. I'm going to put an open circle on negative 13 because I know this is where my solution set starts. So I'm going to put an open circle there. Now, when I look at my sign, there's no equal sign. So that means negative 13 is not included in the solution set. Now I say the inequality starting with the variable. X is less than negative 13. And we know less than means to the left. Okay, so this is a pretty good problem. It covers a lot. Distributive property, multi-step inequalities, open circle, less than. This one's pretty good. It covers a lot. Let's do another one. Nine is greater than negative 2x minus 5. Okay. I don't have to distribute. That's nice. But I do need to isolate my variable. So I need to get rid of this negative 5. To get rid of negative 5, I need to undo it. I need to use inverse operations. So I'm going to add 5. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So 9 plus 5 is 14, is greater than negative 2x, and these guys cancel. Okay, I still need to isolate my variable. So I need to get rid of this times negative 2. To undo times negative 2, I'm going to divide by negative 2. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. And right now, there are all these bells and alarms and whistles going off. This is a 4-engine alert. Now, why would it be a 4-engine alert? Well, I am dividing both sides by a negative sign. And we know that when we divide or multiply both sides of an inequality by a negative sign, we must switch the signs. Okay, crisis averted. We are dividing both sides by negatives. We have switched the sign. So we have 14 divided by negative 2. That is going to be negative 7. These guys cancel and I'm left with x. So here's my solution. Negative 7 is less than x. Let's graph that. I start with my number line. I put my target in the middle. I go 2 ticks to the right, 2 ticks to the left. I'm going to put my circle on negative 7 on my target because I know that's where the solution set starts. Now I look at my sign. There's no equal sign. So that means my solution set starts at negative 7, but does not include negative 7. So it's an open circle. Now I need to read my inequality starting with the variable. So x is greater than negative 7. And greater than means to the right. There we go. So this means everything to the right of negative 7 is a solution for this inequality. And let's do one more example. 4 is greater than or equal to negative 1/3 times x plus 9. Oh, okay. We must distribute. So let's start distributing. Negative 1/3 times x. Negative 1/3 times x is negative 1/3 x. Now, negative 1/3 times 9. Negative 1/3 times 9, okay. Negative 1 times 9 is 9. And 3 times 1 is 3. And there's our negative. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. So that fraction wasn't too bad. We can totally deal with this. Everything else comes down. I need to isolate my variable. So I need to get rid of or undo this negative 3. So I'm going to add 3. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I've got 4 plus 3 is 7 is greater than or equal to negative 1/3 x. These guys cancel. I need to isolate my variable. So I'm going to multiply this side by negative 3 over 1. And what I do to one side, I must do the other. Now, we have a Farrell's birthday party, alarm going on, bells and sirens, big, huge old pig trough full of ice cream. And that would be because we are multiplying both sides by a negative. And when we multiply both sides by a negative, we need to switch the sign. Okay. So negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. These guys cancel. X. So that's my solution right there. Negative 21 is less than or equal to x. So let's graph that. I start with a number line. I put my target in the middle, and I go 2 ticks to the right and 2 ticks to the left. I'm going to put my circle on my target because I know that's where my solution set starts. Then I'm going to look at my sign. There's an equal sign. Equal means that negative 21 is included in the solution set. So I'm going to use a closed circle. Now I need to read this inequality starting with the variable. So that would be x is greater than or equal to negative 21. And we know that greater than means to the right. And that's what we've got for our review of Chapter 11. These 3 problems pretty much cover it all. Distributive property, multi-step inequalities, multiplying and dividing both sides by negatives, open circles, closed circles, less thans, greater thans. These 3 problems pretty much cover it all.